Hi, welcome to another episode of Camera Lounge, brought to you specially by Camera Joint, Nigeria's #1 camera store. And this is a very special interview series for creatives in Nigeria. And in this one, we're focusing on photographers. And I have a very special wedding and events photographer to introduce to you today. And that will be in just a moment. I'm Seyi Adegeye. Welcome. Lights, camera, action. Welcome back. So I have in the house today a very smart, intelligent photographer. If you're in the wedding space and you don't know him, I'm not sure what you know. This is just a great guy doing amazing work in the wedding photography space. Welcome with me, Seyi Adegeye, the creative director at Rare Magic. You're welcome to Camera Lounge.
Thank you so much for having me. It feels amazing to be here. Thank you for the privilege.
Let's start with this, Rare Magic. That name is just awesome. Like, we are here to blow your mind, though. We are not here to come on. So how did you come about the name? Maybe we should start with that.
I've always called myself Magic. I didn't like the idea of using my personal name for my brand. I don't know. It didn't sound right to me. So I wanted to call myself Magic. I just liked the word magic. How to just be able to create magic has always been my personal watchword when I wanted to become a photographer. But the term magic is is a very general term. I can't just call my business Magic Photography. So I needed to just spice it up, And I just woke up one morning and it just fell in my head. I had different words: beautiful magic, special magic, unicorn magic, but that rare just came one morning when I was with my sister, and I just felt Rare Magic sounds good.
Yeah, the truth is, it really does sound good. Rare, as in rare.
Something special.
So, it also suggests to me that your bills are also rare.
No, we are affordable. Patronize us.
But don't be like that. I'm trying to market you like you're approachable. Let's not use the word affordable. We are approachable.
We're here, hopefully.
Oh, great. Yes. So, tell me about your background.
I'm from a family of 5. I'm the last born, only son. I have 2 other sisters and my parents. I'm from a very, very strong Christian background.
Come on now.
My parents are pastors.
So
But you
don't look it, by the way. Honestly,
really?
You like jai.
I'm just one
it's
humble.
happening in London. Let's go there.
Just one very humble, easygoing person, But I came from humble beginnings, and I've just been someone that is naturally passionate about finding purpose, doing something in life. It's just in my blood. That's what has really helped me all through my journey. So I graduated from a polytechnic.
Which polytechnic?
Grace Polytechnic is a private polytechnic. Somewhere in Ijebu. So that's where I came from. I'm just one very simple background. Grew up, no too much, no serious drama. All I knew is I wanted to live a life of purpose. I didn't really know what I was going to do, even up until when I finished school and finished service. Before I even realized I was going to carry camera. But I knew I have to pursue something. I just needed to choose something to pursue. That is all I needed. So even choosing photography was not, to be honest, was not born out of passion for photography. It was just a choice.
Wow. What you're saying is very deep. In the core of you is, I must find purpose.
Yeah.
So are you saying to me that you could have done any other thing,
yes,
and you're sure you would have succeeded?
My dad usually say that, he knows anything I lay my hands on can work, because I've been I can do this, jam this one, I'm all over the place. That is my nature. When I got my banking job, for example, I was excited. Who doesn't like his son or daughter to work in the bank? My parents were excited. My son is a banker, you know. But when I worked for 2 months, I realized, no, this is not my calling. I can't do this. You know, even though I was very, very efficient at work, I was even the best in my peers. But I knew I needed to channel my energy to something more productive. That's why I resigned. I didn't even spend up to a year in the bank. I just left and went to a microfinance bank, you know, where they pay me less.
So why did you make that switch?
Because I needed time for my life. I'm a very intentional person. One thing I would like to tell upcoming photographers or anybody or any upcoming creative is you have to be very, very intentional about what you are chasing. You know, so when you make certain decisions, you know why you're making the decision. It's not just the tide or the wind that is just or circumstance that is going to determine every decision you make. That decision for me was very intentional. It was not fun, no. It was not sweet. Imagine you leaving a job and going for a lower, you know, paying job. But I was very, very particular about finding time to pursue something. And then I didn't even know it was going to be photography, even as a banker.
So how did you get to photography?
I was a graphic designer. I learned graphics. I was not doing it fully. I learned graphics when I was 7, doing youth service. I had this copper friend that was fantastic, and I used to like the way he does all the NCCF magazines, the same fellowship. So he used to do
So
our
you lived in
magazines.
the family house?
Yeah, I did. I was the music director actually.
Ah.
Yeah, I played keyboard too.
Same goes here. Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
You play keyboard for
that too.
Again,
I can, of course, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I've not even
I was
keyboard
music
in.
director myself
Oh, really?
in Lagos State.
Yeah, mine was a no-go then. So I learned graphics, you know, alongside. So I really liked colors. I like beauty. I just didn't know what I was going to do. But I just felt I was so good at this graphics of the thing. When I even finished youth service, I got a graphic design job at one company. I worked there for 3 months. They didn't pay me salary for the 3 months. But I was not even particular about the money.
Boy.
I just needed a place to practice. So I was doing graphics. When I now got the bank job, you know, bank jobs, I didn't have time for graphics anymore. But I had the knowledge. So once in a while, when I'm home, I like to practice. Then I used to get 1 or 2 jobs by the side, just bulletin or maybe business cards. So that was the moment I felt like, if I can bring in photos to these graphics, it will make my graphic design better. That is when I now said, okay, let me start doing some research about photography.
Again, you're the second person who's talking about researching. Now, let me just quickly slot this in here. What is the role of research for a photographer or for someone in the creatives?
The role of research is 100%. Like, you can't survive, you can't grow without research. You know, you can't even do anything. A lot of creatives are just obsessed with following one trend or maybe just looking up to one big name, which is good. But that will just serve as a form of inspiration and motivation. But when it comes to actual growth, it is research. I learned photography on my own, literally. I learned from people, yes. I worked with the person that taught me photography at Kinyeli Ogidiolu Studios. He taught me the basics, just basics, that was all. Then I moved to working with BNB Studio, that's my favorite anyway. I worked with that for a year and a half. So I was like an intern. But everything I learned, like 80% of what made me who I am is personal. YouTube, social media, internet. I'll leave the office around, let's say 5 in the evening. I'll go to my boss's studio, that's my first studio. And that same time, I'll leave maybe like 10 p.m. at night. When I get back to the house, I'll be on the system till 5 the next day. I won't blink my eyes. I don't have any deadline. No. It's just research. On photography, I would be on YouTube studying how to capture that. I was living with my sister. My sister's baby was my model. I'll just put him in the center of the living room, carry camera, start taking random pictures, or take my sister's shoe, my sister's wristwatch, trying to just create. That is how I learned. I learned on my own. Even my boss was shocked in a very short period of time. So how do you know how to do all these things? Why? Because my bedroom was my workshop. I took a loan from it's been hard, man. I took a loan from my office then. I was going on with 15K salary because everything I had, I took loan.
When was this?
This was 2015. I took upfront, this stuff they give at offices. I took upfront, I took loan, every possible benefit.
To do what?
To get a camera. I used to trek from the office all the way to the house because 15K salary was not enough to cover for my transportation. In fact, there are times when I'm going to the office in the morning, I take my shirt and put it in my bag because I have to trek and I know I'm going to sweat. I put it in my bag. So when I get to the office, I go to the back of the building, wash my face and wear the shirt and enter the building. That's how bad it was for me. So I didn't even care about the fact that I was just a beginner. My focus was, how do I shoot like Mufe? Like the photo name. Those were the guys who were following them, like Judy Collar, like Gide Odukoya. You know, how do I didn't care about the fact that I just learning the basics. So my pace was really fast. So I borrowed money from my sister. I got a small Canon 550D, which is actually very small. So when I met Mofe was shooting with 5D Mark II. So when I saw the quality of Mofe's images, I just did like mine. Despite the fact that I was just learning, I don't even know anything, but I wanted more. So after like 4 months, I just sold off that camera.
There seems to be this impression that once you get a mentor, you should be fine. Will you survive with grit alone without mentorship? What's the measure for you?
That's a big question. From my experience, I would weigh it as 50-50. Because trust me, the place of a mentor goes a long way in running a race. Having someone that is way ahead of you telling you this is not the best. I made so many mistakes that if I had someone that could have been like, don't do this, it should have helped in the whole journey.
Can you be specific with some of the mistakes?
My branding, for example. You know, when I started doing well as a photographer, I didn't speak. Let me just use the word. I kept looking down at myself because of where I was coming from. So when it comes to maybe like my pricing or the way I see myself, I didn't see myself as somebody that has arrived. Literally, I felt I just want to shoot. So clients would just come and just this is our budget. I didn't care. You know, even when I was in the bank, I would use my salary to make albums for my clients because the amount of money we negotiated for the job, it's not, you know. I even have weddings I shot them for 40,000 naira. They are still owing me 30,000 today. They paid just 10K out of it. That's how I didn't care, and it really affected me. But when I got to a point in my career where I should start starting them, I didn't think about the money. If I had had someone like, no, you can't allow clients to use it this way. This is your policy. These are the kind. Now I'm just implementing those things in my business, maybe in just like a year till now. But previously, I was just all about the fact that I want to be a good photographer. I didn't care about how to, because it plays a huge part in your career. It's one thing for you to develop a skill, and it's another thing for you to understand the business of that skill you are developing.
So how do you look at this market in terms of genre and segmentation? Would you say one genre is generally more lucrative than the others? And if you think so, which one is it?
Generally, wedding photography is more lucrative. If you are an average photographer trying to find ways to make money faster, wedding photography.
So what's the range like?
From my experience, for beginners, they charge around let's say 150 to 250. You know, for people that are just starting out. To be honest, if you charge less than that, I won't even call you a beginner. I guess you're just starting up. But for you that you're trying to grow and you need content, that is not I believe if you charge around that range, that is the period when you're just trying to stabilize your brand. That's for beginners. Let's say 150 to 250. Once in a while, probably you might hit a 300K job if the client is good. But for an average photographer, most of those average photographers are established to an extent. At least they work 30 times a month at least, minimum. And then they get bookings. Their work might not be the best, but at least it's good enough and decent for an average couple that can't really afford much. So those ones charge around 300 to 450, 300, 400, 450, and a lot of photographers fall into this kind. Of course, when it comes to any industry, average is usually the most saturated.
Yes.
So a lot of photographers fall into that category of 300, 450 average, and a lot of them are doing well, considering the amount of weddings we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
Trust me.
We're a wedding country.
Yes. And the way the industry has even grown is massive now. So it's good. Then after that, we talk about people that charge from 700, 600. Me, I'm a beginner. So still.
How come I don't believe you? I want to believe you, but I'm just not believing. My common sense is not believing you.
I'm just a beginner. So like I said, the higher end, you charge around 600 above. Some major notable names charge minimum of 1.5 million now. Notable names, not a lot, of course. Some charge 1 million, and I have photographers that charge 2.5 million for weddings,
Like you.
We are approachable, just like you said.
I like that. Yes.
But that's the range. So, but anything 600 above, I believe you are doing well. Share
the experience of what you would consider your first big break. How did it happen?
The first big break. It happened on social media. There was this photo. I think I have it in that collection. Okay. There was this photo I took in Ekiti State of a friend. It was our introduction. So I traveled with her to Ekiti State. And there was this moment where they were doing this 1 minute remembrance for the bride's father. But the groom also happens to know he was actually close to the bride's father before he passed. So when they did that one, both of them started crying. So they had to use their hanky to just touch their face at the same time. The guy was doing the same thing while the bride was doing the same thing. Funny enough, I was still growing. Then I was still even using that very old 550D. So I just captured. I was just documenting. I didn't even understood the real essence of documenting moments like this. All I knew is I took picture of what was going on, and I shared it on my Instagram. Then I was still a banker. All of a sudden, I just dropped it. It was a Friday morning. Let me even post something on this my page that I'm still trying to grow. I just dropped it on the page and I went to work. So I didn't go online because I had to do my work stuff. So on my way back in my downfall, I just opened. Let me even check it. I just saw 500 likes. I didn't understand because my page is still very. She mistakenly page.
You refreshed.
You understand that moment? I'm like, I was going on here, and I just went, what this picture? Wow, that was the moment where magic. Because the moment that picture moved, people started commenting, people started following. I was like feeling like, they say, Of course, there were other times I dropped bangers. That
see the language. You
yes,
be town boy.
I know.
I drop bangers.
I know that.
Yeah.
I have moments like that, but that was the first moment I started getting, even though it didn't really reflect in my bank account. Because I still didn't care about the money, but it gave me some recognition. Prominence. And people started reaching out to me, to shoot their wedding. Even they didn't offer me much, I didn't care.
Share with me some of the structures that you have had to deliberately put in your business to ensure that there is growth.
Structuring your business would actually determine how far your business can go. I used to run my business like a sole proprietorship. I just hold my phone, I take my calls, I market my business, I brand my business, I take the pictures, I edit the pictures, I design the album, I do everything possible on my own before, and it really affected me. A lot of us used to think that until you are big, before you can put certain structure in place in your business. That is very wrong. There are little structures you need to start cultivating, even when your business is growing. Like the place of you not talking to your customers. That is my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion, but it's not good for business.
You mean a third person should be negotiating? So what if you're not yet on that level? Because again, I truly understand what you're saying, but there is also that balance of not being superficial.
Yes.
You're not there yet.
It's very important that even when you feel that your business has not arrived yet, you create a perception to your customers to make believe that your business has actually taken. That automatically gives you a stronger hand in getting this so-called business you are looking for. I didn't do that. I didn't apply these principles, but guys that I mentor now, people that learned from me, that are on their own now, I'm teaching them, I'm showing them my mistakes, and they are applying it in the best way possible, and it's working for them. You do this. And when I say talking to customers, for example, I'm not saying you should just be kasuke and thinking or just hire one random secretary to just be negotiating your business. So, when I started doing this, I used like my most personal person, someone that is like my brother. He knows me, he knows my life, he knows where I'm coming from. He understands my expectations. He's not just somebody I just interviewed and just brought him. Of course, I have staff now that came in through regular, but I have people that, were my day one. They even knew me before I actually became a photographer. That was the person I started with. I take my phone, help me talk to customers. Now, most of the times, I'm the one behind the phone. In fact, there are times where I talk to my customers, but I act like I'm not the one. I will tell the customer, okay, yes, we would like to do it for you for this price, but this is the best we can offer. Okay, you know what? Let me talk to Magic and I get back to you. And I'm the Magic.
I hope a non-photographer.
Yeah.
I hope a non-photographer is not watching.
It's just brand. It's just business. Yeah. I'm just being honest here.
I feel you.
This is not just for photography. It's just you have to create a vibe where your customers will see that this is an established brand. It gives them natural trust in your brand. But when a customer knows they are talking to the alpha, omega, beginning and the end of the brand, it's not good for your business. They know they can even use a different kind of psychology to vibe with you. Like you, some will even call you in the middle of the night because they know it's you. It's you, go. So they can call you around 12 and say, "After my pictures, sometimes I wonder why would you call me around 12 in the middle of the night? Because they know that phone number is Seyi's phone number. But now when we tell our customers, we're sorry we couldn't pick your call last night. We had closed in the office. They understand. They know. But before, I was calling you now. Why didn't you pick my call? And it was 11 p.m. So that is how. So the moment they know they are dealing personally with an individual, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So that's one. Give me a few more.
Business mistakes. The place of pricing. It's very important that you. What's the word? You are aware. Because for
of
a long
where
time,
the market is.
Yes, for a long time I was not aware because I didn't really have so many friends before, or not until now. That I didn't have maybe. In fact, most of the people that were my friends are the people that were. Let me use the word that I was teaching and mentoring. I was like the Oga. I didn't have any Oga.
Like the best in your
That was
group.
the best in my group. Thank you. So I was not aware. All I knew is, okay, 3 months ago, I was charging 200,000. Let me move it to 250,000. That awareness will go a long way. So you know what the market is saying. Because there's a level you get to as a photographer where you don't have to be aware of the market. You're already big. So you know what you deserve as a creative. If they can't pay you this amount, it should leave you be. But there's a particular level you be before that average market, where that market is for the mass.
Yes.
And you need business.
So what you take home is relative to other people.
Thank you. You can't come and be forming, this is my own price. No, you are not there yet. You need to understand what people around your level is charging, so you don't overshoot and undershoot. Because if you undershoot, they'll be like, this guy is too cheap.
So there's always that point where we need a photographer. And there's that point where is rare magic or nobody.
Thank you. That's it. That's the word. When they say it's rare magic or nobody, those kind of clients don't think about your price. All they know is they want to make sure you show their work. But at the average level, they are looking for someone that will fit into their budget.
Yeah.
You are plenty. So if you don't work around that budget range, you're like, okay, you can still take this amount. They will now start deliberating. Should we pick this one? You'll be doing mini, minimum. That is what happens in that average market. So that's why many times you negotiate with the client, you discover that you've given them the best discount possible and they still didn't book you. Why? Because they have options in that range. That is why there's nothing sweeter than finding every possible way to step up to the next level.
So how does a photographer do that?
To stepping up to the level.
Yeah, so you know how we are too many in this tank.
So that's the toughest part of any industry.
How did you make it?
I was.
Yeah.
For me, if you are not radical enough, you can't get to the top. This one is a general principle. It's not about just photography. If you are not intentionally radical and crazy, trust me, you can't get to the top. I won't say I'm at the top. Let me not come and form me.
No, I understand.
You understand?
Yeah.
But you have to understand what makes a big photographer big. This is it. What are the things that make you see a photographer and say, this photographer is big? Naturally, sometimes you will just take maybe you're on Instagram and you just see a photographer you've not heard of before. And you see the photographer's pictures and you already know the photographer is big. How do you know? You just be like, Ele might be a big photographer. It has to be a big photographer. Because of what you see, the kind of content you see. Just naturally in your subconscious, you just know that, this person is big. Because of the kind of locations he's shooting. Just for example, you don't know Stanlow before. I'm sure you should know Stanlow photography. You've not heard of him. And all of a sudden you come across Stanlow's page. You know that this one cannot be a chief photographer. Or probably these notable names that we have in our industry in Nigeria. You just know why? Because of the kind of content on their page. Like the dress of the bride, the kind of makeup on the bride's
location.
The location, the decor.
Yeah.
And many other elements that make an image beautiful. That is what makes it be. So when you see the picture, you'll be like, no, this photographer is naturally. And when you see some, you doubt if this person is at that level. Why? Because of the kind of thing they put out. That is what helped my brand. I realized that, okay, I keep working on myself as a photographer. I keep improving. But the kind of content I was putting out was not it didn't match up with my skill. I keep learning. I was still on YouTube last night.
Let's talk about that learning part. Because, that's what gets you into the bigger time.
Yes. My natural process is this. On my desk, I have a huge screen, TV by the side, and my laptop where I work. Every time, most of the time, not every time, most of the time when I'm working, I'm on the laptop editing, and my YouTube is on the screen. I'm watching something. I'm always watching something. Just last night, I was learning Lightroom. I'm actually, to an extent, I'm a guru when it comes to Lightroom. But I was watching a Lightroom course all over again, where they were talking about camera calibration and hue saturation. I know how to use these things. I use it already. But I was watching it over again.
You're ingraining it in.
Thank you. I was digesting it. And I learned one or two things. They are very minimal, but it's like you are in school. It's the build-up. Over time. Before you know it, you start applying certain things you watched 6 months ago. On the, okay, I want to correct it. Oh, I learned how to change colors in this area. You do it. It's a continuous process. That is what helped me. What I realized in my business was I learned past my level. I got to a certain level in my life that I was so good at, but my work was not showing. It was not. That is when I now intentional. That's where I was able to, let me say, go to the next level in my business. I realized that I can't keep shooting regular images, but those were the kind of weddings that were coming my way, regular jobs. And no matter how good as a photographer that you are, if you are not shooting the kind of stuff that will bring out your work, you remain average. A lot of jobs we see that we are mind blown online now. It's not the photographer that did the magic. It's the content that is the magic. I just feel like, what kind of drama can I bring to my images? I started writing things down. Okay, I'm going to do a shoot. I'll put a bride, I'll put a groom, I'll style them, I'll do the decor, every costume required. And you need to, the amount of money I've invested in a shoot is millions, not even thousands, because I spent over time. I don't care. I don't care if I empty my account. All I know is I want the shoot to be fantastic. So whatever sacrifice I have to make, whatever amount I have to pay the designer or the model, as long as I want you to model for me, I will find the money or one way to just pay you. Because you are the one my vision just aligns with you for that particular project. I will pay. Or Jacob, or just because I wanted to start putting out content that matched with my skill. And the moment I started putting out that content that matched with my skill, that was it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what's the most ridiculous negotiation experience that you've had? I mean, people promise all sorts of things.
So many. I had this job in Abuja, I think 2017 or so, and they told me to come for the introduction, which was January that year, and the wedding was for April. Let me not tell you the amount I charged. In fact, you just
don't say it.
I can't remember, but it was ridiculous. Maybe 150 or so. It was terrible.
How did you get to Abuja? Did you trek or how?
It was road. It was road, and that was where the issue was. When you don't have a proper structure in place, and they told me BM Pro is doing me. I remember.
What?
They told me BM Pro is doing the makeup. Then I was already interested. If I can do a wedding with BM Pro as a makeup artist, that is good for my name, or that would automatically interested me. Then the dad of the groom happens to be an army general, and the dignitaries will be coming for the wedding that Obesere and the Kiniko together are performing. So I was hearing those things.
Well, is it a good or bad thing, really?
As at then?
No, as in even if they're not paying you what you feel you deserve,
yeah.
Is it a good consideration? Say, even if they're not paying me, being in that atmosphere might help me.
Yes, it is.
Is it a good thing?
Yes, for your level, for a certain level, it's actually good. Jobs that will help you develop better code. Just like my former boss used to say, that she used to tell me then that if the bride comes, I should ask for her picture. If I see that she's actually very pretty, I should just take the job, because it will help me. If I have a pretty bride and I can create beautiful images of a pretty bride, and I put out, that is an advantage.
That's a nugget there.
Even though that was when I started, even though they don't pay me well, as long as that's like automatic free model for me, and I have good stuff, So at a certain level, you can tend to take job for the sake of your content. Like for example, you are shooting weddings where there are dignitaries. For the sake of your content, that is a level. But there will be a time where it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
All you have to know is you get paid for what you deserve. I went to Abuja, and in fact, it was quite an experience. I was there for 3 days. First night, they took us to one house, their father's friends, uncle's brother's house. We slept in one boys' quarter that didn't have window. The second night, they said someone wants to use the room. They took us to another place. In fact, the next day after the wedding, when we were coming back to Lagos, it's this Sienna. We were like 5 in the back seat. Imagine all the way from Abuja to Lagos. They said we should manage in the Koji now. We shouldn't get to Lagos. God, what a that was the day I vowed that in my life I'll never travel by road to the north. Imagine 5 people in the back seat, all of us like this. Because I went to shoot a wedding where they didn't even pay. In fact, the things I was hoping for, that I would experience, I didn't even experience, because it was just stressful. And there's nothing as bad as stress when it comes to creating. Imagine you going to shoot a wedding, you've traveled in a bus the day before, you are exhausted, you are not even thinking straight. He told you to sleep in a place where there's no window, and mosquito has messed you up all night. And 5 o'clock, you have to wake up and shoot a bride. How would you? You can't even function. Papa, if it even make it worse, the bride dressed up in her family house, and you know how this wedding with bride dressing in her bride's mother, bride's father, all the friends. So I could not even create. The reason I was even passionate about going to was just a waste, And I was like, what motivated me to take the job was because of the kind of people I wanted to go and shoot. What is I saying? Oh, it's my brother. My brother. So many stories, so many challenges, crazy moments.
So how do you negotiate effectively?
Effective negotiation is short negotiation. The moment your negotiation is getting...
I like that.
It's getting...
Short.
It's short. If you want to be effective, that should be... The moment it's getting too long, that's no more negotiation. That's begging. You understand?
So is that you're begging the client?
Yeah, the client is begging you. The moment you are calling them, how much last now? Yeah, my husband said, do it for us now. Okay, let me talk to my husband. I'll call you back. The moment is getting to 2 weeks. Yes. I don't believe you guys should talk for too much. It's okay if she says she'll get back to you. It's normal. She wants to consult her partner or stuff like that. She gets back. Of course, there should be some kind of negotiation gap to your pricing, in my opinion. Some photographers will say there's no need.
Plus or minus.
Yes, you'll be like, okay, let me give them some more for discount. Because everybody loves discounts. And I believe it's only fair to offer clients discounts. So photographers will say no. If they want me, they pay the money. It's fine. Everybody has their policy. But for me, I believe to an extent, at least, even if it's 10% or 5%, there should be some discounts. What I've learned is, if the clients want you, they want you. Because that's why when I was still at that average level, you book jobs. And maybe, for example, they pay you one amount that in your mind, you know that this money is not what I deserve. But you say, let me just do it. You now get to the wedding, you see Kwamwan, or you see Sonyadi, or they use Monarch Investor. You now be like, oh God, why did I do this? It happens to literally every creative. That is what happens. If they want you, they will choose you. If you like underprice, it's up to you. What is just important is you have to make sure the price is what you deserve.
And you're not shortchanging yourself.
Yes, it's very important. It's very, very, very important. Even when you are average, know that at least I'm going to have decent profit on this job. Not that like it's because she begged me. That's why I did it for her. That is I used to do it. I won't lie, and it didn't work.
Yeah, because it appears that people who beg you might eventually insult you.
They will, not I might. They always insult you. The ones that beg you are the ones that will trouble you. The ones that just go straight to the point with you are the ones that will take care of you. Clients that be like, please come to Ibadan for my wedding, come to Ekiti, and we'll do our best. When you get there, they just abandon in one dirty hotel that does not have water. Trust me. You would think the way you guys negotiated, you guys have a vibe. You guys, so you already see them as a friend. That's why you even help them. You give them discounts. You enter the road. When you get there, just treat you as trash. Or maybe when it comes to delivery stage, they won't be. You just like, hey, my pictures. Can you go? Say 3 days, I'm not going to my picture. Oh, no, hold on. We are working in your pictures. We want you to have the best quality possible. No pressure. No, what do you mean? I paid you in full. That's what they do. But the ones that come and they understand your policy, they understand your structure, you give them a considerable discount, they book you.
I mean, this is so awesome. I mean, so many things to learn from what you're saying, and I hope that creatives are learning in this fine art. That's what I would call it, the fine art of negotiation. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we want to find out what is in Seyi's bag. Stay with us. Yes, it's still Camera Lounge coming to you courtesy of Camera Joint, Nigeria's #1 camera store. And I've been speaking with Seyi Adegeye, the creative director at Rare Magic. Yes, so we have quite a number of pictures here on the screen, and I would like you to talk us through them.
This is like my best work last year.
Skyline.
This work actually shook.
Architecture.
It shook. I used to pass this all in Ibadan anytime I go to Ibadan for work.
Okay, yes, this is Mapo
Hall. Yes.
Yeah.
I used to
Did you grow up in Ibadan?
No, I not even lived there before. I just used to go there once in a while for work.
Oh, wow.
So I used to pass. I used to see that I want to do something here. It looks like all these ancient, vintage palace.
Lovely.
And I just went there 24 to 70.
This is lovely.
I worked on the cloud. I changed the sky, gave it some, special touch.
Yes, and I love the balance.
Yes.
The balance in the picture is more like from 30% up there, you cut it there, and then it's just awesome.
Yeah,
It's just awesome.
This one has this job. This day it was a wedding. It was after the church. I wanted to get a good shot of the couple because we were able to take good shots in the hotel in the morning. So during the message, when Pastor preached, I stepped out of the church. I was walking around the street
Looking for
what
ideas.
I can create. And I saw this bush. There's one huge abandoned trailer behind them actually, but I had to remove it. I saw this bush. I was like, okay, I can use this bush as an element and add some clouds to it. So after the service, the bride was tired. She wanted to just go to the reception. I had to beg her. I think I made a video then. I posted it. I had to beg, please, do this for me. She was like, my hair's rough, my face. I said, don't worry, just trust me. I had to take them to this. She was like, when she got there, she was like, this bush now, why would you come and take me in this kind of bush? I said, don't worry, just trust me. If not for the groom, let's just do what he says. And he took the shots, And when she saw it now, it's like a big frame in her living room now.
Yeah. Wow. You've said to me twice now that you've had to beg someone who paid you.
Yeah.
What's the place of that?
It's about you having an understanding that you have to get the result despite the challenge.
Your result or their result?
I think I would say my result because it's very important to me that my clients get what they pay for. Very, very key. And trust me, when it comes to shooting weddings, it's very challenging. On days when you shoot portrait, you have all the time in the world. Wedding, that's not the case. The bride's mother can say, don't take my daughter here. The bride might say she's tired, she's hungry. And at the end of the day, after the event, you get blamed for it. So it's your fault if something goes wrong with their pictures, And everything that goes wrong on the wedding day, the photographer must find a way to correct it. Be it the dress, be it the makeup, be it the hair, it's all on the photographer. So if you have to beg to get the result, beg. You understand? So it's important that you are confident. And when the challenges come, you don't let it sway you. What you are paid for should be your focus. So if you have to beg. If you have to shout, not disrespecting anybody, shout. If you have to stand your ground in certain, I'm taking this picture. There are times where planners or make that we have to go now. And I'm taking this picture now, and I'm taking it here. I will say it out loud. There are times where I will even literally threaten. Maybe they're like, they have to go to reception now. I'll say, if anybody shouts reception here now, I'm going to drop my camera. I've done that before. I'll drop my camera and I won't shoot again. Everybody just silent. And I started shooting. So there are times where you have to go hard to make people understand. Let me do my work, because at the end of the day, and you'll be the one to come down. Why did he capture? And if I say you are the one that said you were going to reception, they'll say, why did you answer? You should have told us now.
What would it take us now?
Thank you. So I'd rather do what I have to do as long as I get my results.
All right, so I guess it's now time to see what's in your camera bag.
Okay.
Yes, pull it out.
My guns. Yeah.
Whoa. This is massive.
Yes, sir. This is what we use for the magic.
So when you're going for any wedding event, you go this full.
Yes, like most of the time, I go with nothing less than 2 to 3 camera bodies. With all my lenses.
Does the amount they pay you determine this guy's? Okay.
As long as I'm shooting, I take
everything you need.
Everything available.
All right. So, are you a Canon guy or Nikon guy?
I'm a Nikon guy. But I'm not criticizing any brand though. Yeah. Canon is fantastic. Sony is for right now. I'm a Nikon fan. So I use the Nikon Z6 II. I have a Z6 also. I don't think it's here. I use the Nikon Z6 and I have the Nikon D750. Yeah. Oh. Yes. So I have 2 D750s. These are the cameras this is the camera I've been using it for like 3 years. This is like my baby. This yellow camera. Some clients will say, "Where is that your yellow camera?" Because they used to.
Okay, so it's always had this cover.
Yes, since I got it.
Wow. So it's become like a brand.
Yeah, you didn't bring that yellow camera because you've seen it a lot on social media.
Okay.
But this is my new baby.
Wow.
Z6 II.
So this is the newest and sort of best of them all.
Yes, this is the best of them all. Z6 II. And I have some lenses. I didn't come with everything, but I have, let me see I think this should be my 85mm. This is my portrait lens. Wow. This is a Sigma at 1.4.
1.4?
Yeah, 85.
What's 85?
Yes,
the range
85mm, 1.4, yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this is like my portrait lens. This is what I use for all my portraits. Yeah. They're already getting people should give me money.
You're making your money.
Quite a while. Then I have 50. This is 50mm. I got this recently, just like a month ago.
Yeah. What's the f-stop?
1.4 also.
1.4.
Okay. Sigma Art also. I decided to invest more on Sigma Art lenses because of the image quality, you know. But my best lens is still 24 to 70. I didn't come with it, but that's my favorite lens because it makes the whole thing sweeter. Because shooting weddings can be, a lot of running around, a lot of pressure. So when you have a lens that just covers a major range, that is necessary. You are good to go. And that's why I always recommend as a wedding photographer, you should have a 24 to 70 in your bag. This is my 70 to 200. You know, I have a 70 to 200. I have 35. I have another 35.
Wow.
Yeah, we have second shooters.
Has a camera equipment or accessory failed you like in real time?
Not really, but I've had an issue with my memory card failing me at an event.
So what did you do? How did you
I had to
cover?
Buy during the event. You know, I had to buy. In fact, it happened recently. It was Thecameralounge that even saved me. Yes, just November. Yes, I was at the church and the card was just showing damage.
So you went to Camera Joint?
I called him. I didn't go. I just called him to order good card and send it to me.
So Camera Joint is a lifesaver?
Yes, it's a lifesaver.
This is real good.
Thank you.
So that's it. That is what Seyi Adegeye carries in his bag. Thank you very much, Seyi, for coming through for us on this program. It's been such an engaging conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an amazing time.
And that's it on this episode of Camera Lounge, brought to you by Camera Joint, Nigeria's #1 camera store. I'm Seyi Adegeye. Peace out. Lights, camera, action.